Bonjour à tous, j'espère que vous allez bien pendant cette période estivale. Voilà, nous vous avons prévu un programme qui retrace tout ce que nous avons partagé comme Connecting Day depuis le mois de janvier jusqu'au mois de juin. Vous allez voir ce soir donc une des journées que nous avons eues de telle sorte que vous puissiez la revivre et pourquoi pas trouver des partenaires et aussi élargir votre marché sur le pays qui a été cité ce soir. Hello everyone, I hope you are good during this summer. We have prepared for you, the connecting days that we started since January until June. So we hope that we will have a good program and you will enjoy this country that you will discover, and maybe you will have a lot of contact just to make business in this country. So we give you rendezvous after that just to be in contact with you. So have a good programme. Bon programme et bon Connecting Day. Au revoir.
Bienvenue à Connecting Days, organisé par Continental Working et ses partenaires. C'est une plateforme qui vous apporte les meilleures relations d'affaires avec le continent africain. Hello and welcome to Connecting Days, an event organized by Continental Working and its partners. There to help you to create the best relationships with the African continent.
My name is Hoozamedia, and I'm a senior agribusiness officer of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. And I'm happy to be here, and today I'll be sharing with you just about 7 slides on opportunities in the agribusiness space and how we can take advantage of the opportunities, and also taking into consideration the risks that we are likely to face and how we can mitigate these risks. Other issues also of consideration or worth consideration will also be mentioned in this discussion. So if you permit me, I'd like to see. Dimitri, can you help me share my screen?
Yeah, you are allowed to share your screen.
Sorry, I'm getting a feedback. Host disabled participant screen sharing. Yeah, so
now it's okay.
Screen, yeah, let me just go on and then give you a presentation of what I have today. So as I earlier on said, this presentation is just going to be about your opportunities in the agribusiness space and the challenges and other issues that are worth discussing. I'm a senior agribusiness officer of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture in Ghana. I've been working here for the past 15 years. You can, later on, I'll put my details in the chat. I had them in the presentation, so I'll put them in the chat later on for anyone that wants to reach out to us. Thank you. So I would like to situate this conversation in the economic context of Ghana. We currently, as a country, doing an annual GDP growth rate of 0.4% as at December 2020. I mean, this is obvious because of COVID-19. Inflation is currently around 8.5% as at April 2021. The sectoral growth in terms of agriculture is growing at a 4.6%, industry 4.6%, and services is 6.5%. The strength of the agricultural sector in Ghana, it's such that the agricultural sector is contributing 18.5% to GDP. This is because as the country grows, more investment is put into the industries and service sector, and so over the years the service sector has been driving the economy, unlike some years ago where agriculture used to drive the economy. However, I think this is positive, and it provides a lot of opportunities for investments in the areas of industry and service. Now, the agricultural sector has also been recording a growth rate of 8.2% as at last December 2020. So the agricultural sector last year was the major driving force of the economy, despite the issues of COVID-19. The opportunities in this sector that we can talk about currently is that the agricultural sector is worth over $3.5 billion in terms of stake. Now, the agricultural sector also has a very strong government support policies that has already been spoken about or has been mentioned in the earlier presentation. So there are several government interventions and there are several policies that have been outlined to make sure that investment in agriculture is something that is secured. In terms of geographical location, the earlier presenter made mention of the fact that we are situated in a hub where we have become like a gateway to most of our neighboring countries, having very strong ports, and in terms of movement of commodities to the European Union is about 6 hours away from London. So this makes Ghana a very strategic point for investment in terms of export of agricultural commodities. Now, there have been increase in private sector investment over the years in the area of agricultural marketing systems in terms of infrastructure development and also policies around trade, regional trade and international trade. AGOA, we can mention the current African Continental Free Trade Agreements and that of ECOWAS. So all these issues or these investments have made it very easy or very opportune time. This has made it an opportune time for investment to come in to the country. There's been increased availability of labor. This is because Ghana is churning out over 200,000 graduates from all its universities, both government and private. And all these young graduates will need employment. Therefore, investors will not need to worry about the labor cost or labor as in the availability of labor. Now, also issues around agriculture has to do with land. So the government has also increased its policies or has improved, let's put it, has reviewed policies around land administration, land title, rights and ownership. And therefore there is an improvement in this area. So if you purchase land in Ghana, nobody was going to raise up tomorrow and say this is a family land and give it back to us. There are measures put in place to secure that. We can also talk about technological advancement and innovations in the area of greenhouse for vegetable production. This is more important because currently Ghana is facing a lot of issues with phytosanitary and sanitary conditions in the country when it comes to export of horticultural products, which used to be one of the areas that Ghana was doing very well in the past. But we currently having issues with pest and also chemical residue. So greenhouse, provides a very good solution to producing in large quantities and also in consistent volumes. ICT for agricultural solutions are also areas that the youth are interested in and rigorously investing in currently. There are several fintechs, financial organizations that are springing up that are also using their platforms to lend to smallholder farmers. All these areas present opportunities for investment. So going forward, we can also talk about mechanization sector. The mechanization sector, it's something that is, it's currently a deficit, but it presents opportunities for investors because we need more tractors and more equipment to provide such services to farmers and also, commercial farmers who are currently investing everywhere in Ghana. Also, the issue of renewable energy, that is solar for irrigation and also for processing sector, especially in value chains such as cocoa, fruits, cassava, for alcohol. During this COVID-19 period, alcohol has become something that is a valuable commodity. Soya for milk and cashew, for snacks and stuff like that. So all these areas are available, and renewable energy is a good alternative or area of investment to provide the energy that these sectors need. Transportation is also a very key issue. Over the years, the sector has suffered with movement of agricultural commodities from producing areas to market centers and also to the exit points, be it by sea or by freight. So the transportation industry is also another area that we can invest in strongly, providing the right logistics and cold storages or cold transports to move commodities from the farm areas to the exit points. Now, storage equipment and cold storage facilities also at the various exit points and in the various markets provide an opportunities for us to invest in. Strong producers and exporter groups are all available, ready to receive investment and collaborate with investors so that we can ensure that the value chain is sustained and the amount of produce that we want to receive are produced in the right quantities and at the right time. Now, we also have existing public and private infrastructure investments. So over the years, the government has invested in several infrastructure in the agricultural space, and the private sector has also come in to do similar. However, there have been very limited capacity and also in terms of working capital to turn all these investments and infrastructure into something positive. These are existing structures like pack houses and warehouses and some few cold storages here and there that are being managed and underutilized to their maximum capacity. So this provides opportunities for investment. Presence of insurance for agricultural sector. Currently, the government has put in place the Ghana incentive-based risk sharing for agricultural lending, and this is a setup of $100 million dollars or so that is providing agricultural insurance to investment in the agricultural space through the Ghana Agricultural Insurance Pool in collaboration with Polar Insurance from Eastern Africa, that is in Kenya. All these are available that provides opportunity for investors that when you invest, you can definitely also get insurance that can protect your investment, especially with the production side, looking at climate change and the weather issues. Now, there have been policies to also reduce importation of poultry products and rice. Ghana imports over 600,000 tons of rice every year, which, is into billions of dollars. Now, this is an opportunity for us to invest in this area because the government plans to reduce this and make sure that it comes drastically down to about 25% in the next 4 or 5 years. So this provides opportunities for us to invest in this area. Now, definitely, as investors, we would be happy to know what challenges we come across. I normally would always want to take all these challenges as also opportunities for us to turn the key around. So Ghana's agricultural sector has been very over-dependent on rain-fed cultivation, and this provides opportunity for us in the area of irrigation and solar energy provision. There have been issues of high cost of labor. This is because most of the young ones want to move to the urban areas, and therefore the energy, to invest in labor, the energy available in the rural areas where these are the production areas have become a constraint. However, with the right remuneration and the right skill set given to the youth, and also giving them an assurance of development of skill, they will definitely want to stay behind and do the work. But we should be mindful of high cost of labor. In terms of financial sector, there is a very low financial sector capital injection into the agricultural space. Currently, we are doing about 1.5% of all lending that goes to agricultural sector, which is very, very, very low. The government itself is not meeting its malleable commitment of about 10% of its total budget to the agricultural sector. It's around 4 to 6%, the highest we've gone so far. So this shows that there isn't deliberate investment on the part of the government, the financial institutions, to pump money into the agricultural space. In terms of other challenges that has got to do with road and infrastructure, in terms of roads that are coming from the production sites, we have very long distances of roads. Some are very poor, especially those that feeds into the food basket areas are very poor in terms of its constructions. And therefore, it presents a hindrance for us to get the quantities of food and the volumes to the exit points. Issues around SPS compliance and adherence to international quality standards also presents an issue for us to consider when we are investing. There is a very low capacity in terms of the officials in the quarantine sector of the ministry, and therefore the officials will need to be, their capacity will need to be built, and also other value chain actors will have to be exposed to international quality standards and also certification. But this certification comes at a high cost, and therefore it also hinders a lot of the value chain actors to be able to procure these certifications. There are currently issues around information, access to information, and market system infrastructure. In terms of when you walk into a typical Ghanaian market, you'll find out that the market structures are poor, the setup is poor, there's high energy cost in terms of electricity. Therefore, if you were investing in the processing part of the value chain, this will be a very key thing to look at. There is over-dependence also on imported products. There is low value addition in terms of the systems that we have. High cost of inputs are things that you would like to look at. Other issues of COVID-19 in agriculture. COVID-19 did not really affect the agriculture sector because the agriculture sector contributed about 8.2% to GDP last year, and it was the main driver. In terms of climate change, Ghana's climate is very conducive. However, the northern part of the country continues to face issues of climate change, which needs to be addressed. And as I've mentioned, innovation in irrigation and also integrated water management systems are the new way to go. Ghana also have issues when it comes to gender and social inclusion. This is a very strong policy sector. Therefore, investors must be wary that in any investment, we need to see a key component of gender and social inclusion. It's a key component of the ministry, and therefore a very strong policy that we look out for. In terms of sustainability of investment, we are looking at partnership with local investors so that any investment that is made, there is a local content, and therefore this continues to sustain the economy. In terms of tax, the agricultural sector has about, I think, about 1% tax when you are coming in or bringing in, importing stuff into the country. So tax is almost 0%. Even in when you come in to do the agriculture or invest in the agriculture space. There is land. In terms of land, we have not used 50% of our land is still arable, and so we have huge lands available, and fertile lands are available for investments. In terms of political stability, I think I mean, when you mention Ghana, we don't even need to talk about political stability. This is something that it's well known. We are very strong and robust with our political structures, and therefore this does not present an issue for us at all. And so this will bring me to the end of my presentation, and I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any questions, I'm available to respond to these questions. Thank you very much, and hope to see you in Ghana very soon with your investments. Thank you.
Okay, I think in the first place, I would like to thank you for this invitation where we share with your association and through your association with other stakeholders, other countries, with this particular focus on investment opportunities in Ghana. And of course, the part or the role that the Ghanaian diaspora in general, and the diaspora in France in particular, play or can play. And I think here precisely, I will talk about the Ghanaian diaspora in France. We don't have the exact figures of how many Ghanaians or people of Ghanaian origin in France. But what I know is that there are a lot of diaspora Ghanaian associations in France. And one of them, one of the major ones, is what we call CAGEF, which is Collectif des Associations Ghanéennes en France, or rather, Federation of Ghanaian Diaspora Associations in France, with the headquarters in Lyon, in the eastern part of France. So what do we define our role? What do we define our functions with our home country? In the first place, what we as Ghanaian diaspora see as our role is that, in the first place, indirectly or directly, we are part of the Ghanaian population, even though we live outside the country. And as such, we have a natural responsibility, a natural role to play in our country, in its economic, social, and political development. And for this reason, roughly about 7 years ago, this federation was created. It was created in Lyon, in the eastern part of France, and roughly we about 30 associations that make up this group. And there are two main aims that we set off to achieve. One, to help Ghanaians living in France to be in contact with each other, to help each other, and of course, make it in such a way that we are able to live peacefully. We are able to be part of the French society. That is the first aspect. Then the other aspect is, how do we help our home country? So from 2013 up till now, the association has been able to carry out micro development projects in Ghana. We have about 32 projects across the country. In most, certain about 4 that are sponsored, financed in a way, in part by the French Agency for Development and FORIM. FORIM, if you want, it's a platform where different countries, federations from different countries, migrant populations are part. And Ghana is part of this federation. So the public aid for development, which the government gives to this association, we are able to benefit in a way from this aid development. And of course, we as an association with our local partners in Ghana also finance a part of it. So 70% from the French government through French Agency for Development and FORIM, and of course 30% from us as a federation, and of course our local governments in Ghana. So in a nutshell, we've been able to carry out development projects, and these projects fall in several categories. We have projects for health, micro projects for health. We have projects for education, projects for sanitation. We have projects for energy. We have projects for schools. I think I've said that already. And these projects, most of them are found in the rural areas in Ghana. And the projects, one, help in creating jobs for some communities. On the average, we have about, each project, on the average, about 5 direct jobs created. And not only the jobs that are created, but then those who form part of this income revenue are also able to sponsor their families, and then some members within the community. So there is this economic rich jobs for people in our country. And then there is also the social aspect, because the projects are community oriented. The projects are community oriented in the sense that if you build a public toilet, the toilet is for the whole community. If you build water system, the water system is for public use. If you build a market, it's for the whole community. So there is a social aspect of our projects, and of course, the economic benefits also that come to the projects. Now, besides the official development that we carry out in Ghana, I think there is also, on individual basis, the transfer of money that we as people in the diaspora in France, we send home. And I was just reading about 2 days ago that in 2020, almost about 3.6 billion, $6.6 billion US dollars worth of transfer was sent. So we are participating, in the economic and the social development of our country. And of course, there are difficulties. There are difficulties of communication between us in our home country, official level. There is also sometimes the question of transparency that we don't see much, especially in some of the local areas. But we still continue to fight that these difficulties will be solved. And then we are also wishing that one day, those of us outside, those Ghanaians or origin Ghanaian, will have the opportunity to vote, because voting is one way or the other, one of the rights that a citizen of a country, can enjoy. Even though we are outside, we need to participate in the political life of our country. And I think this has been enacted by law, what we call the Europa Act 692, if I'm not mistaken. So we hope that one day the government will be able, through the ministry or the agency for the diaspora office, to push in this agenda so that those of us outside can vote. Thank you very much for participating in this exchange. My name is Mike Atta, and I'm the representative of the Federation of Ghanaian Associations at the French national level. And it's been a great pleasure, working with our friends from Congo, sharing with them this piece of what do we call it in French, bon pratique, with so wish them to continue this adventure, the spotlight on what is happening, so that the time has come. The COVID experience has shown us that the time has come that we need to mobilize so that we can help each other to push forward our continent. Thank you very much.
Go now.
Okay. So I'm looking at the successful transforming economies Africa sees from import reliance to self-reliance. And my outline will be looking at agriculture in Africa, food security issues in Africa, prospects of Africa's agriculture, food importation in Africa, the consequences of high food importation in Africa, agriculture as key to transforming economics in Africa, the future of agribusiness in Africa. The reason why I've tailored this outline is in it itself has all the major components when it comes to investment in Africa. And at the end of the day, you get to understand the generality of what it entails and the sectors to be looking at when it comes to investment in Africa. So despite the Ghana being the world's largest, second largest producer, or Africa being the second largest producer of cocoa, we do not have what it takes to be competitive on the international market. If you look at the countries that even do less than 6 tons, they have about 70% of the market share. So when you take a look, Africa alone controls the world's largest commodity, which is cocoa. But meanwhile, the returns on investment is very low. And if we are really looking at a crop or a commodity to live from, we're talking about cocoa. Recently, there have been a lot of media buzz about China exporting cocoa to Belgium, and how Australia is coming in strongly, and how Malaysia is also pushing. What are we doing in Africa? This is the point where we need to start to strategize. Africa produces 75% of cocoa, but receives only 2%. That is 100 billion out of the several billions of returns that the industry or in Africa should be making. So let's move to food security in Africa. Africa has about 236 million, representing 23.2% of the world's population, according to the World Food Programme 2018. Currently, there are more than 103 million people across 53 countries. That tells you that the food industry alone is money. The population drives demand, and the demand must come to meet the more mouths to be fed. So, looking at these statistics, you can easily juxtapose where we should be looking at, which is food, and for that reason, we're doing this. Now, out of the 53 countries, food insecure countries worldwide, 33 countries currently are in Africa. So if you are out there and you are looking at an area to invest, out of 53 insecure countries for food in the world, 33 of them, representing 70%, are in Africa. And you can mention Dr. Congo, Ethiopia, Sudan, South Sudan, northern part of Nigeria, and it's surprising that you have northern part of Nigeria as part of this. So the statistics are here to show for itself. Actually, I did 2 presentations for this, so I'll be very fast and show to you to a large extent. Africa's food and beverage market are projected to reach 1 trillion by 2030. That is a huge investment, from fruit juice to alcoholic beverage and cocoa drinks and what have you. $1 trillion by 2030, taking advantage of the Africa Free Trade Continental Area. Africa has more than half of the world's fertile land. Africa uses only 2% of its renewable water resources compared to the global average of 5%. So it also points to availability of arable land and good use of water for agriculture productivity. Improving Africa's agriculture and agribusiness sector means higher income and more jobs. According to the World Food Programme, any $1 million invested into agriculture can generate 75,000 jobs. So if you compare what we are making in Africa to the likes of Brazil, Indonesia, Thailand, where we import several of our rice from, and maize and soya, these are food security crops that otherwise needs to be used and produced here in Africa, but we import all of them, despite the availability of all the conducive environment. Africa's annual food import bill is 35 billion. It's estimated to rise to 110 billion by 2025. We are just 4 years away from this, and any investor out there should be looking at these figures carefully, because this is the area we're talking about and the reason why we have the Africa Free Trade Continental Area. And the 110 billion by 2025, this will weaken Africa's economy. This makes agriculture export and job creation on the continent. Imagine what $35 billion would do in Africa if we stop importing and we produce and we feed our own people, we feed the industry with good, organic, quality food. The president of the African Development Bank, he recently asked, why is Africa importing 35 billion worth of food annually? Now, the consequences of high food importation. High importation weakens economies. High importation causes unemployment. High importation discourages local manufacturing and processing. High importation reduces income of our continent. So agriculture as key to transforming economies in Africa, and this is the areas you need to be looking at for investment. One of the central goals of every developing country is to reach the high income status. Agriculture plays a critical role in transforming economies to reach the goal with achieving essential development goals. Now, let's look at the future of agribusiness. Agribusiness are being challenged to meet the globally increasing demand for food, fuel, and fiber, while balancing economic and environmental realities. New technologies are critical. We'll be talking about blockchain. We'll be talking about drones and sensors. We'll be talking about Internet of Things. These are critical to developing the industry. Talking about manufacturing, processing. Moving forward, agribusiness leaders must find a new answers to challenges such as how to attain or improve access to markets. We're talking about how Alibaba have developed the China e-commerce platforms. What is it that we have in Africa that can change the Africa's e-commerce platform to be able to move some form of produce from Ghana to South Africa, South Africa to Nigeria, Nigeria to Tanzania, Kenya, Ethiopia, Ivory Coast? We need to find an innovative digital web system to be able to attract the kind of population that we have on the African continent. How do we secure reliable commodity supply? We have to produce, and by producing, we need to invest. And that is the only way we can achieve any sustainable food productivity. How do we adjust the mega trend and manage uncertainty? What are the mega trends? 35 billion annually on importation of food alone in Africa. And by 4 years' time, it's expected to rise to $110 billion. Are we ready to invest in Africa? If these figures do not scare you, then I don't know what else is going to scare you. How to build organization and operational capacities to support new strategies. We do not have what I refer to as hands-on technical agriculture sector training facilities that are providing top-notch engineering work, fabrication of simple agriculture tools, and many others. We keep importing all this from China and Europe and America. This cannot help us moving forward. If we are talking about building organization, building capacities, building processing, and building top-notch high-tech manufacturing sectors, we need something like this. This is critical. Japan have done it using the Toyota system, and we need to find a way. The Kaizen system has been good. What system is in for us in Africa to adopt? How do we even diversify or specialize along the commodities and activities? These are the areas we need to be looking at. So shifting from import to dependence on self-reliance and self-sufficiency. This is where we need to be looking at, because when COVID came, the European Union banned exports. Okay, how do we become self-sufficient as a continent? We need to strategize investment that is required. Africa's agriculture has suffered from lack of infrastructure, skills, and technology. Actually, I also chair the Ghana Agriculture Sector Skills Council, and there is huge need to look at how we can diversify Africa's skills acquisition, how we can make sure that we give the right skills for our workers. Labor, even though it's expensive, but the labor does not have the requisite skills to support your investment. So if you want to look at how we can diversify the economy, for me, I think skills is very critical. When you invest, you need the right skills to hold and to be able to monetize your investment. If that is not done, most of the investments will go down the drain. According to the African Development Bank, the Sub-Saharan Africa will need 8 times more fertilizers, 6 times more seeds, and at least 8 billion of investment in basic storage, and as much as 65 billion in irrigation to fulfill its agriculture promise of transformation. And my main attention here is seeds and also irrigation. We need water. We need water to be able to produce throughout the year. Okay, climate change is catching up with us. Sudan is having enormous challenges. So we need to transform the industry. And if we are talking about producing enough food, where we have a lot of agriculture, arable land, we need to invest into agriculture. Food systems. And food systems are now critical. We started talking about food systems some years ago. FAO has now taken the food system strategy and working on it. Now, let's look at the policy environment, what we need to be able to make sure that our investments are secured and we are able to make substantial profit on investment. New policies that enhances the agriculture mechanization in Africa. So while saying this, you can contextualize it in Ghana because the differences are the same. I mean, there are no differences. The issues are the same. Okay, we do have challenges with mechanization in Ghana, and we need to also look at productivity and rural employment to attract and ensure that the continent's future and growth and poverty alleviation are sustained. Effective national policies for trade, agriculture, and investment. These are critical. The investor needs to understand what policies are in there for him. African farmers and businesses must be empowered through good policies, increased public and private investment, and strong public-private partnerships. PPP is missing. And one of the areas we need to look at when we're talking about PPP is the local content. What is the local content? To be able to uphold and make sure that when technology are transferred, the technology doesn't vanish with time. And there are people that have been trained, that have been given the necessary capacities to be able to make sure that these technologies, when imported into the country, for instance, you're talking about irrigation. Do we have the requisite high-tech skills for irrigation? When we buy technology and we start to deploy technology, drone sensors, we're talking about no-till agriculture farming, and many others innovative technologies that are increasing productivity. These are the areas we need to be looking at. Policies must be enacted to tackle and triggers the triggers of food security, food insecurity, such as climate change, conflict, economic shock, urbanization, and high population growth. Well, we all know what we are looking at, and those are the areas where we need to look at some innovative mechanisms to develop the rural agriculture sector. The new normal, Africa can feed itself, and Africa must feed itself. And when it does, it will be able to feed the world. Thank you very much.
Hello, welcome to today's edition of Ghana's Day. My name is Adam Seshi. I'm a partner at the Famous Advisory. Famous Advisory is a consulting firm that is based in Accra. We have, what we do is we provide insights into the market, not only in Ghana, but across other West African countries. We also help with business registration and business setup in Ghana, as well as connecting markets. So we do have a trade development department that helps you connect with people in market. Today, I'm going to share with you a few opportunities in Ghana. Ghana over the years has seen a lot of progress. One of the bright spots in Africa. We are known mainly for our democratic credentials. We've, over the years, had successful change of government among different political parties. And all this has helped in making Ghana a very stable economy where investors are always welcome to invest. So the presentation will focus on an overview of Ghana's, facts about Ghana. We'll look at both the economic and demographics of the country, and then I'll share the business opportunities. So Ghana has an estimated population of 30 million. Majority, 55% of that is below the age of 25. About 54% of the population lives in urban areas, Accra and Kumasi being the predominant areas. We have, out of the population, 46% of the total population of Ghana is considered as a middle class. So that is a huge asset owning part of the population and presents a lot of opportunities for anybody who is looking into the market to invest. Economically, pre-COVID, Ghana was doing extremely well, was one of the fastest growing economies in the world. We are usually above the West African average of growth. Last year, 2020, COVID destabilized the whole world, but we still grew at a 0.9%. We had an end of year inflation of 10.4%. The total GDP of Ghana is 67.7 billion, which is largely made up of services, agri, and industry. The per capita income of the average Ghanaian is US $2,000, above $2,000. The targets for 2021 as set by government and largely confirmed by the IMF and the World Bank is we are expected to grow at 5%. Inflation should hit about 8% and the deficit of 9.5%. In terms of opportunities, one area that has seen a lot of growth and that presents a lot of opportunities for people to look at is technology and digital innovation services. So we have, over the years, had a lot of investment in that space. So the infrastructure has been built, and that has culminated into Ghana becoming a hub for startup ecosystems. You have we've seen a lot of progress in terms of the fintech space as well. So you have indigenous companies based in Ghana buying over other companies across other countries, and other investors from different places also coming in. There is a budding ecosystem of startups that is here. Government is involved, both government and the private sector, and that presents a lot of opportunities for people. In 2019, as stated, in terms of startup investment, Ghana was among the top 5 after Nigeria, Egypt, South Africa, and Kenya. Investment into tech startups in Ghana and other West African countries has been going up. You have a lot of young and dynamic population that is heavily involved in this. So it presents a lot of opportunities for whoever is looking at it, be it agri-tech, be it fintech, be it edu-tech. You have a host of areas where you can deploy your solutions. Another area of opportunity is manufacturing. Ghana is relatively stable when it comes to power supply compared to other countries in West Africa. We also have a very reliable workforce. The population, as I earlier mentioned, 54% of the population is below the age of 25. You also have a good number that is between 25 and 35. So you have a very strong workforce that is available to work. And you also have government that has a very rigorous program of promoting industrialization or industrializing the country. Through its program, about 4 years ago, we launched the One District, One Factory, where it is supposed to lead to each district in Ghana. We have 275 districts in Ghana, each district in Ghana having a factory. So government together with the private sector is pushing this agenda, where you have incentives that have been provided for private sector that is looking to do, to invest in the country. So you have that as one scheme, as one program. You also have government providing incentives for people who are willing to manufacture in Ghana. So there's a lot of opportunities in light manufacturing as the country imports a lot of products. You have tax incentives, locational incentives, depending on the scheme under which you operate. We operate a free zone scheme as well, which allows you to export 70% of whatever you produce, and you are still technically not considered to be part of Ghana. So you enjoy 10 years tax holiday when you are set up in that. You can register and manufacture for the local market. Ghana is part of the ETLS that allows you to set up your manufacturing base here and then export to other countries in West Africa. The good thing is Ghana has a very good infrastructure when it comes to logistics. So we have a very efficient port, one of the efficient ports in the region. We have a very good road network that takes you out. And we are also a transshipment hub for the landlocked country. So then that presents you a very good opportunity to set up your manufacturing plant here and then export to other countries within the region. Another sector that has seen a lot of progress, and that's where a lot of money also goes, is the retail space. As I earlier mentioned, 46% of the population is considered middle class, and that is a huge asset class of the economy. So you have a retail space, so the consumer has become more aware of the good things in life, so then they are yearning for quality products here and there. So it's a space where you could come in, set up, or connect with the already existing players and then expand. Online business is also taking shape in Ghana, and it's one that we predict that within the next 5 years would see a boom in Ghana. We have the likes of Jumia and the rest already operating, but we also have indigenous Ghanaian e-commerce companies that are also doing extremely well. In as much as the formal sector of the retail space is getting prominence, the informal sector still remains a major player. So you can easily target, you can either decide to target both the informal or the formal sector, where you could go into the local market and sell as well. Agriculture and agribusiness is another sector where you could look at. Agriculture plays a major part of our GDP and employment. We have over the years transitioned from subsistence farming to commercial farming. So new technologies are being introduced, agri-tech solutions. You have companies that deploy drone technologies in managing diseases and spraying and watering of farms and all, and trying to understand the science behind the crops and all. So there are a lot of those opportunities. Another one is agri-logistics and that. So most of the produce is done in the hinterlands, where access to markets might be far off, but then there's opportunities for you to produce for warehousing facilities, logistics and all, into city and then send it out of the country. So Agric also presents a very great opportunities for someone looking into that space to get in. Ghana is about 6 hours by flight to Europe. So then it makes it easy for you to produce here and then supply supermarkets and shops in Europe. You have a few companies that are doing that, and then it's a very profitable business. So you could set up your farm here and then process and then export to Europe. The last of opportunities exist in the services sector. The services sector controls about more than 50% of the GDP of Ghana. So I'll just highlight a few of subsectors in the services sector that you can consider. Oil and gas is one. Ghana discovered oil somewhere in 2007. We started production in 2010. So providing support to the oil and gas companies is key. Engineering and logistics support. There are yet to be developed fields. So there's a huge opportunity, and the country is growing in that regard. Tourism is one. So we are naturally blessed with a lot of natural vegetation, waterfalls and all that, ecotourism and all. So there's a lot of opportunities in that regard where you could come in and set up a tourist facility where you would get people to come and utilize. Real estate is another area. Even though part of it is already saturated in terms of the high-end side of it, there's also a huge opportunity for the middle class as well as affordable housing. And then when it comes commercially, you could be looking at service offices and then the concept of shared offices. So that is one area that anyone who is interested in real estate can look at. You have hospitality. We are gradually becoming the melting pot for a lot of citizens from across the world, be it West Africa, East Europe, and also then there's opportunities for setting up hospitality for the hospitality industry in terms of restaurants and all. You have a few very good restaurants, but because of the influx of people who are working, there's also a lot of opportunities for that. So things for people to do, the social life of things and all. The last of the services sector that one can look at is the financial services. So we have a very robust financial service, but there's still a lot of opportunities for anyone who's looking at it. You could look at microinsurance, microfinancing and all, universal banking, even though we do have a lot of banks, but then you could also look at specialized banking or go into specific areas. So generally, Ghana presents you with a lot of opportunities where you could come in and then invest. The best part is whatever you do here, you can replicate in other parts of West Africa. We are always the entry point for most companies that are looking to come into the market. So make time, explore the opportunities that Ghana has, and do make time and reach out to us if you need any more advice on where to put your investment. Thank you very much.
Eh bien, merci d'avoir participé à cette réédition des Connecting Days estivales. Nous espérons tout d'abord que cette réédition vous a plu et nous vous invitons à prendre contact avec nous pour toute question, mais également si vous souhaitez que l'on mette votre pays en avant. Thank you for attending this re-edition of the Connecting Days. We hope that you will enjoy this event and you find the information you needed. Please let us know if you have any questions and also if you would like for us to advertise the country. We hope to see you soon. Have a nice day.